Alright guys, so I'm going to walk you through your essay assignment really quickly. For this essay, what you're doing is you're drawing really heavily upon the concept of characterization. So because this is the first unit, we've had a lot of classical literary texts. We've got some really incredible character development by some very talented authors, obviously. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick one or two characters that you found fascinating. And you're going to show me how those characters either represent elements of Romanticism or work against those elements. So, for example, if you did something like Hester Prynne versus Pearl, you could compare those two. You can compare them across works, too. You could do something like the narrator in The Cask of Amontillado with, let's say, let me think. With, let's say, the pastor in Scarlet Letter or something like that. So what I want you to do is I want you to really use the terminology that I've given you for discussing literary elements and discussing characters specifically. So things like flat, dynamic, static, particular archetypes. Are they the protagonist, the antagonist? Are they a foil? What is their purpose in the plot? Are they a passive character? Are they active? All of these wonderful terms that we can use to describe them. So if you need a reminder on that, go back to, I think it was week 1, where I had the whole presentation on literary elements, and I gave you a whole document on characterization and all these things. Make sure you use all of those resources. So also relate, how other literary elements are portrayed through these characters. So I'm not saying abandon all the other literary elements that you can talk about, because there's a million of them. So talk about those, but talk about them how they're portrayed through characters. So how is plot, theme, motif, symbolism, setting? Setting is very important in Romanticism. How is that portrayed through these characters? For example, in The Fall of House of Usher, setting is vitally important because the house represents the decay of Usher's madness and the decay of the family lineage as well. You are required to use 2 scholarly sources in this essay. So I've had you practice by finding at least one for Poe. So I want you to find 2 scholarly sources. All of these texts will be easy to find scholarly sources on. That's why I gave you the big ones. That's why I gave you Moby Dick and Scarlet Letter and all of these good texts. When it comes to Longfellow, the smaller poems, you might have a little more difficult time, but I think you'll be able to find them just fine. You'll definitely find stuff on Evangelina and on the Song of Hiawatha as well. If you do choose one of those, then I suggest you go back and at least look at the rest of it. Those are epic poems, so you don't have to read the whole thing, but I do suggest you at least go back and just look at a few other sections maybe to get a better idea. So it's 3 to 4 pages. It's due on Sunday, April 12th by midnight. And then it requires standard MLA format as usual, and of course it'll be checked in SafeAssign. If you have any questions about this, I've given you your choices here. You have The Last of the Mohicans. You have all of Longfellow's poetry, 3 Tales from Poe, and then you, of course, have Scarlet Letter and Moby Dick. So lots of good choices. Hopefully you enjoy this one. This is, again, one of my favorite eras, and I think it's just fascinating to look at. I've had you try and get into the mindset of these characters on purpose because I want you to start thinking like a romantic. And hopefully that'll kind of help you get started on your essay. So don't forget that you needed to be taking notes on some type of graphic organizer as well. You're going to turn that in at the beginning of week 12. And then I don't have anything else for you to do except for a wrap-up quiz, and I have a self-edit for you to do, just as an aid. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I really hope you guys enjoy this one. Thanks.